Stop searching for the miracle and be the miracle. This ain't gonna be lyrical, this is straight facts. Stop waiting on the change and be the change. This ain't new news, this go way back. Stop waiting on someone to get it for you, go get it for yourself. Take your pride back. If God is your motivator, then you can do all things. Believe that. My power is divine, every line aligned with a higher power. Receive that.
I want to ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly. You don't have to say it out loud. Just in your heart. When was the last time you compared yourself to somebody? Like, really compared. Not just, oh, that's nice. But why am I not there yet? Why does everyone else look happier? What am I doing wrong? Why does my life feel harder? And what you don't realize, this comparison just hijacked your peace. Paul said it plainly in 2 Corinthians 10:12. When they measure themselves by one another and compare themselves with one another, they are without understanding. That's Bible for you're hurting yourself and you don't even know why. If we're really being honest, comparison isn't something other people struggle with. It's something we do quietly, in our head, in the car, at night scrolling, watching and constantly measuring. Then we pretend we're fine. Now, before I challenge you, before I confront you and lovingly step on some toes, I'd like to confess something. I've compared myself to people that I prayed for. Yeah, that kind of comparison. I've looked at someone else's life and thought, God, I'm really happy for them. I promise you, I really am. But why does it feel like you skipped me? And that's how comparison actually works. It doesn't come in hatred. It comes in confusion. Most of us don't mean to compare. It just happens. Welcome back to Lies Changes Truth. I'm your host, BK Blessed. And today, we're not talking about comparison the way Instagram pastors talk about it. We're not doing motivational posters, and we're not saying just stay in your lane and move on. Today, we're exposing the lie that comparison is harmless. It's really soul poison. I know this sounds harsh, but it has to be said. Comparison is easier than self-examination, than discipline and honesty and growth. Because comparison lets you blame the timeline. It lets you blame the system and God and other people instead of you doing the work. And before you get defensive, I'm talking to me too. You know what? You know another lie that comparison tells you? If I measure myself against others, I'll finally know my worth. That's the trap. You think you're comparing looks when you're really comparing worth. You think you're comparing money, but you're really comparing security. You think you're comparing relationships when you're actually comparing belonging. And you feel like you're comparing faith, but you're really comparing validation. And that's why it hurts so bad. Because comparison isn't about them. It's about the questions you haven't answered about yourself. Comparison promises clarity, but delivers confusion. I mean, it promises motivation, but produces shame. James 3:16 says, "For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice." Disorder doesn't always look chaotic. Sometimes it looks polished, productive, and exhausted. And let's be honest, comparison didn't start with social media. Social media just perfected it. We were taught comparison early with grades and awards, popularity, income, and success timelines. So some of you didn't grow up competing with strangers. You grew up competing with your brothers and sisters. You see someone else's cars, their houses and clothes, and envy their lifestyle. And you suddenly feel behind. But nobody posts the debt, the loan that they're still paying on, all the stress and the pressure. Proverbs 16:8 says, "Better is little with righteousness than great income with injustice." You don't know what it's costing them to look like they're winning. Ecclesiastes 4:4 says, I saw that all toil and all achievement spring from one person's envy of another. This is too meaningless, a chasing after the wind. That verse doesn't say some achievement. It says all toil driven by envy. That means you could be successful and still be so sick on the inside. And I honestly love you enough to say this. Some comparison isn't about insecurity. It's pride. Because comparison says, I deserve what they have. You know what? I should be further. And I'm the one that should be seen. But humility says, God, finish your work in me. James didn't sugarcoat it. God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. James 4:6. If comparison keeps showing up, excuse me, ask yourself, what part of me wants to be recognized instead of refined? And can I say something else that I think will free some of you? Many people online are not lying. They're just not telling you the whole truth. No, nobody posts the big argument before the anniversary dinner, the overdraft notice before the vacation pic, or all the insecurity before the selfie, or that prayer that came before the breakthrough. No, nobody wakes up and says, let me show the world how ugly I feel today. No, nobody captions, I'm smiling, but deeply lonely. I'm blessed, but I'm drowning in debt. Married, but we're so disconnected. You're comparing your whole life to someone else's highlight reel. I just don't think that's fair to you. Jesus warned us in Mark 4:24, be careful what you hear. Because what you repeatedly consume becomes what you quietly believe. Nobody posts, today I feel like I'm failing. Comparison isn't you wanting their life. It's you forgetting that your life is real and valuable. Proverbs 27:19 says, as water reflects the face, one's life reflects the heart. You don't compare by accident. You compare by appetite. And whatever your heart consumes will eventually show up in the mirror of your life. Comparison doesn't just steal joy, it kills intimacy. You could be sitting in a room with someone who loves you and you love them. And then begin to resent them because someone else's relationship looks better. You saw their anniversary post, their beautiful vacation, or all that public affection. And now your partner feels insufficient. And it's not because they failed. It's because someone else performed better online. That's a tragedy. You're judging your behind the scenes against someone else's highlights. Real talk. No healthy relationship looks impressive all the time. Every single relationship has silent seasons. Those hard conversations, unmet expectations, and so many moments of doubt. But those moments, they don't get posted. Comparison will make you abandon something real for something imagined. Love is not an aesthetic. Love is faithful. 1 Corinthians 13 never once mentions chemistry or excitement. It says patience, kindness, endurance. But none of those go viral. And some of y'all are comparing your real life to someone who edits their photos like they're auditioning for heaven. Now filters can smooth skin, but they can't fix character. And you know the core truth of this episode? You don't know what's going on behind the scenes of someone else's life. You have no idea what they survived, what it is that they're hiding, or that they're barely holding it together. But here's the flip side. You know exactly where it is you need to grow. Galatians 6:4 says, let each one test their own work without comparing themselves to someone else. That's true freedom, because comparison steals gratitude. It steals peace, relationships, creativity, and joy. It makes you quit early. It makes you bitter towards people who never even harmed you. And it makes you numb to your own progress. Theodore Roosevelt said it best: comparison is the thief of joy. And what's crazy is that we even compare our faith walks. Comparing ourselves to someone else's prayer life, to their Bible knowledge, their calling and platform, and the title that they were given. You feel like you're behind spiritually, but let me free you. God is not grading on a curve. Jesus said in Matthew 19:30, many who are first will be last, and the last first. He's not impressed by noise. He's moved by obedience. Comparison is what happens when identity is unclear. It isn't about others. It's about what you believe about yourself. If you were secure in who God called you to be, comparison would have no room to live. When you don't know who you are, everyone else becomes a mirror. See, David never compared himself to Saul. He knew he wasn't built for Saul's armor. 1 Samuel 17:39 says, David removed it. Some of you need to stop trying to wear someone else's calling. You know why it doesn't fit? Because it was never meant for you. I want to speak slowly here. You've been measuring your worth with tools he never gave you. He never asked you to keep score. You know what he asked you? He asked you to stay faithful. Stop only seeing lack. So start being a good steward of what you have. He gave you an assignment, and your assignment doesn't require what they have. He wants you to focus on you and not the lives of others, because you are one of a kind, and there will never be another like you. And only you can build what he needs you to build with the gifts and talents he's equipped you with. I heard some of you exhale, because deep down, you know this is for you. You have to know by now, comparison doesn't just hurt you. It robs the world of what you carry. When you compare, you stop creating. You stop trusting. You stop celebrating others. And you stop believing God can use you. And the saddest part, you don't quit loudly. You just shrink down to nothing. Matthew 25 tells the story of the servant who buried his talent. Not because he lacked ability, but because he was afraid. Comparison always leads to fear, but there is a healthy version of looking at others. It's called admiration. Admiration says, that inspires me. That shows me what's possible. And it challenges me to grow. Comparison says, why not me? Why am I behind? Why am I not enough? Paul said in 1 Corinthians 11:1, follow me as I follow Christ. Not compete with me, not be me, just be faithful. Listen, I want you to imagine the peace you'd have if you just stopped comparing. Imagine the joy if you focused on the growth instead of your ranking. Imagine the relationships if you protected them from unrealistic expectations. You don't need their life. You just need to be obedient. So let's reject the lie. Let's embrace the change and walk in truth. God didn't create you to compete. He created you to contribute. This has been episode 42 of Lies Changes Truth. Comparison is not motivation. Comparison is a liar and a distraction. Your life is so sacred. Your growth is personal. Your pace should be intentional. And your story, it deserves your attention. God is working on you, and you are your only competition. I'm your host, BK Blessed. Until next time, stay faithful, stay incomparable, stay you.
is your time, this is your life. You gon' be alright, you gon' be alright. Be a motivator, be an innovator, be the best you. Block out the haters, winners fail and fail, but a failure quits. Go through the fire, cause your path is lit. You'll get through the pain, it might hurt a bit. That's how you get your weight up, so move all these mountains. Knock down these walls and break all these bricks. Don't let the devil fool you, see through the tricks. Can you feel the power? Yeah, you getting stronger. Can you make it through? Yeah, you got through harder. See, the time is now, can't wait no longer. Cast out the fears, no more paranoia. This is destiny, time to grab a hold. This is meant to be, time to let it go. Believe in yourself, God's in control. This the realest thing I ever wrote, to whom it may concern. This is your life, this is your time. You gon' be alright, you gon' be alright. Follow God's plan, follow his light. You gon' be alright, you gon' be alright. Have no fear, cause he's right here. You gon' be alright, you gon' be alright. This is your time, this is your life. You gon' be alright, you gon' be alright.